So I'm just going to ask.
Yeah.
Back in my homeland, is there any chance we'll see Rip Hunter again this season, or is that character done for good now?
I believe he's done for this season, but I mean, Arthur Darvill is the greatest.
Yeah.
And we've got a terrible habit of killing the greatest people. It's totally stupid.
You got to survive in the not great character sweet spot.
So you get killed next season.
If you get too great, it's time. It's time to go.
Speaking of great characters, was it always your plan to cast Maya's story after 2 seasons, or how did the process of changing Maisie happen?
Yeah, I mean, that actually ties into the Arthur Darvill question because, you know, Rip Hunter's backstory was pretty bleak. And then I met Arthur and was like, oh my god, he's like a song and dance guy who's hilarious and he could do everything. And so that's why, like, season 2, we're like, well, he has to come back as a sort of harebrained film student named Phil. And same thing with Maisie, you know. We came up with the idea for the character before we ever met the performer, and then you meet her and she's young and she's full of life and she's spunky and cool and crazy, and you're just like, oh great, and we made you a lady from 1942 who is a member of like the JSA, and she's got to worry about, you know, her legacy, and then we put her in the romance with this guy that she's got to do all this hand wringing and we gave her so many like real not fun things to sort of have to wrestle with. And so our challenge is like, how can we give Maisie the opportunity to have the most fun this season, to free her of all sort of obligations, to make her just, you know, she actually has more in common with Rory this season than anybody else. She's not a person who gives you know what about she's not even a person, if you want to be frank about it.
Yeah.
Will we get Booster Gold at some point, as we've had Rip Hunter?
Yeah, I think that it hasn't been offered to me. Yeah, it hasn't not offered. No.
How are you going to wrap up Kid Flash's story?
Well, you know, he moves fast. Yeah, I mean, we would have loved to hold on to him a little longer, but he was on the move.
Dude, Keenan's changing the world.
Yeah.
Keenan's actively helping the world. You can't ever slow like a young person down who's actually putting the effort to make a difference.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's a cool thing about our show. It's a repertory company. Mm-hmm. People can come, people can go, and I mean, I think that's why, you know, Matt Ryan wants to do our show, because normally you take a show and you're like, well, there's 7 years of my life in Canada, and this way people can come, and if you like it, I mean, hang out.
Basically,
stay as long as you want.
It's an episode by episode contract.
Yeah. Act by act.
Mid episode, you're like, you know what, Phil? I'm out. Cool. I'm gonna get out of here. You're like, all right. Ever hear it, Constantine? Rip Hunter comes.
I love your shirt.
Thank you. It's a sad state of affairs that we have to make this shirt. Right. Thank you.
But it's important.
Yeah, I mean, our show is not overtly political, but you know,
it's pretty overtly.
Okay.
Sometimes it needs to be.
Yeah.
But my question for you is, how is Nate going to go about mending his broken heart this season?
In traditional like Legends ways, shit gets crazy quick, and in the middle of the chaos, you have to be present in the chaos. So you kind of put it in the back burner, but it comes back up, and there's no way.
More about. You know, who you were before you were a legend. We're going to get into your family life, and in particular, your relationship with your old man, which I don't think people are going to expect.
I'm telling you, our first episode is wild. Like, it is, for our 4th season, it feels super fresh. Yeah.
So you guys are not going to be part of the crossover. What came to that decision? Why did you guys decide that?
Well, you know, there's another show that's, you know, going to get launched, and it became overcapacity. I mean, for our show is very, very difficult. There are no easy episodes. Everything pushes production and our post-production our actors to the absolute brink of exhaustion. And we'd frankly reached a breaking point, and then we only have 16 episodes to tell 32 episodes worth of story. So like for us, we loved the crossover, but it was always a tonal speed bump, or it was a departure, and we just don't have time to step away from our story this year.
But also you need 2 episodes to set up the crossover. So if we only have 16, that means we have 14 because we're setting up what's about to happen in crossover. Where since we're doing only 16, this is sort of Legends time.
Yeah, and it feels like every episode feels like a crossover. I mean, when you have this crazy mashup of people, it's like we got enough people to talk about it. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thanks. Bye, guys.
Take it easy, guys.